Hello everybody, it's me, Zombie Marshmallow, back with my strange relationship with designs. So I've been making designs for, probably since 2018, and now we're in 2025. I've been making designs for quite some time, and I've learned a lot while making them. I'm not a professional by any means, though. But my strange relationship with designs, and what I feel about my designs, the ones that I create. By the way, what's in the background is not anything that I've created, just the art is mine, not the designs is what I'm trying to say. I drew this myself, but I did not design the characters. This was a commission from a very lovely person that I did for, and they're very kind and cool, very cool. I'm using this as just background. But anyway, my strange relationship with designs. When it comes down to designs that I've created, I really don't care very much for what people do with them. So like if you got a character and you ended up just printing it up, deleting it off of the earth, and then eating the piece of paper, I probably would not mind or care, because I make these designs for other people, not for myself, nor do I feel much attachment to the designs that I make. Perhaps that's depressing to hear, but I've been doing this since 2018, and I have to do that to sell these so people can feel comfortable that the characters they buy are theirs. I'm not going to ever take a character back in any way, shape, or form. I do have a TOS. None of it's super intense. Most of it is relatively about commissions rather than designs. Most people, I just don't want you turning the artwork into a base and selling it. That's about it. You can edit the artwork however you like, edit the design however you like, and make it to your liking. Most of the time I don't make edits after a design is made. Like, this is designs that I just make, not designs I'm commissioned to make, because I've been commissioned to make designs, and I do allow a lot more editing. But if it's just a design that I make on my free time, I usually don't allow any edits to be made if it's sold. I do allow others to edit the artwork if they want to fit however they see the character, but most of the time I don't really see these designs as much other than like merchandise, which is kind of sad. Most of the time, whenever you buy a design from me, you're allowed commercial rights as long as I'm credited for the design's original piece. And if you heavily redesign a character that I've made, they just come to me and ask if you would like to be the full creditor of the design, like the one who designed it. Because redesigns, I mean, if it looks so different from what I created originally, I don't mind people taking credit for the redesign, because at that point, it's not really my design. I mean, you made it a redesign of my design, but it's not my design anymore. It's kind of just redesigned, which is kind of like a little bit something like Maybe Talk to Me. Most of the time, I don't really care. I don't care what people do with the designs afterwards. Literally, it doesn't attach to me. Like, if somebody were to take a character and make some really problematic stuff with it, it's not my responsibility in any way, shape, or form. They bought the design, they can do what they'd like with it. I just don't really care where the designs go most of the time, because I think that it's not my design at that point. You know, I make it for the people. I make it for you to be attached to it, not for me. I'm not normally attached to designs. Sometimes I sell designs that aren't mine. Sometimes I sell designs that were mine. I didn't make them. That's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I sell designs from my own personal storage that I've gotten from great designers like Cryotic, which I'll put on screen here. They're a wonderful designer that I constantly am buying from, and I love their stuff, and I get really attached to it. But this is kind of where my weird relationship with designs changes. And I know, it sounds a little strange right now. Right now, it sounds like I don't really care what happens to the designs I create. And that is true. I don't really care what happens to the designs that I create. As long as my credit is still there, that's usually what I only care about. And you can do whatever you like with it. If something super bad or whatever happens, you might be blocked by me, but I'm not going to have any list of people to not sell designs to, because in the end, I don't own these designs anymore. I just created them. Whatever the person buys them, does with them, is not my responsibility, basically. But I do have some designs that are really close to me, and I don't share those. I don't usually share the designs that are actually close to my heart and a part of, like, my coping, I guess. I don't know. I don't usually share those. I have some designs from artists that I trust, because I'm also very picky with where I get designs from for the most part. I don't usually willy-nilly buy designs, mostly because it's really hard for me to connect to designs, as well as a lot of people do not particularly like me, and I don't want to step on their feet, as well as I do have a hard time connecting to designs made by people who don't necessarily like me or ex-friends, depending on what happened, of course. But I do really like keeping my designs kind of under lock and key. The designs that I actually love, nobody really sees. They're kind of kept personally. Like the Zombie Marshmallow mascot, I love Zombie Marshmallow, but it's not one of my favorite designs. It's not something that I feel like truly combines to my heart. Even though I love Zombie Marshmallow is adorable, lovely design, and I'm using it right now, aren't I? I do enjoy it. It's just more of like a public design. This is something that the public can see, and I don't really have super attachment to, other than kind of trying to build my brand around it. Most of the designs that I create, I don't care where they go, but the designs that are actually close to me, I usually keep under lock and key, and it is really hard for me to get rid of them unless some of the following happens. You might be like, oh wow, that sounds intense, and it is intense, and this is why. Number one reason that would make me disconnect from a character, I am very picky about who I commission to draw my favorite characters, because they are my favorite characters. I usually commission either very close friends that I trust with all my heart, or artists that are not very close to my friend group, aka people just completely out of my bubble who would not really want to get involved other than with business relations, basically. And I prefer that. I prefer that system. It feels more balanced for me, as well as it makes me feel safer with my characters. I'm very overprotective about my characters, and I know that might be mental illness right there showing through. There has been a time where I did commission people more willy-nilly, and a lot of the people that I ended up commissioning ended up saying some very poor things about me and putting me on blacklist, which made me disconnect from the character, because paying somebody to draw your character and then finding out that they absolutely hate your guts kind of makes you disconnect from a character. I have really mixed feelings on blacklists. I don't personally have one, nor do I ever really want to. I had one at one point, and it sucked because it just made me sadder, but that's my own experience. Usually I feel I stay out of the topic of blacklists because I don't have one. I don't have a place to really say or to really comment about other people's blacklists either, even the ones that I'm on. There's reason that they had, even if it's a little silly to me, I am going to respect it, and I do expect others to respect it as well, because in the end, I don't think I really want anything to do with somebody that doesn't fucking like me. I apologize my French. Nor do I think they probably want anything to do with me, so it's just best to keep distance. But it does make me disconnect whenever there's somebody who I was either close with, or maybe not even that close with, just people in the bubble who end up not liking me and talking poorly about me. It does make me disconnect heavily, and I've gotten rid of a few OCs because of that, and because of that I've also become very tight on who I commission. I now kind of just commission people that I feel like I can trust. I don't commission people very often because of that, because I have such a fragile connection to things. I always kind of feel like an outsider most of the time. Yeah, this is gonna get sad, I'm sorry, oops. But most of the time I do feel like an outsider, and whenever I have characters that I feel super close with, I want to keep that safe spot as safe as I can and try to monitor who I buy commissions from, as well as who I get kind of fan art from. That's another thing that I might start Nobody really makes me fan art right now, and all the characters that you guys can see on my personal toy house, not personal, but my business toy house, is the characters that I don't mind fan art being of. Like, the biggest character is Zombie Marshmallow, the one you'll see here. I don't mind fan art being made of them because they are supposed to be in the public. I am not as connected to them as the ones I have privated. I have a lot of characters privated, and honestly I don't think I'd want fan art of them because I have such a fragile connection to these characters, and I don't want somebody making fan art of it and then them becoming the number one hater of me, because it's just gonna make me feel awful and disconnect from my characters. And again, I already feel like a big outsider most of the time. It's really hard for me to feel comfortable and safe within my own bubble, and I try to keep that as simple as possible. I try to keep everything just far away from everybody else so I can just have that comfort without feeling like I am an outcast in my own little bubble, if that makes sense. And a lot of people might not get it, and I mean, I don't expect a lot of people to get it. I try to be very professional with my art. My art account that you guys see, the Zombie Marshmallow brand, I try to be as professional as I can, and everything that you see that is public on Toy House for that specific is completely okay for people to interact with, see, fan art, buy from. I'm not going to bite, I promise. The characters that are actually really close to me, again, are very privated, and I don't really post about them very often. The few times that I do, it's because I'm very proud of a piece of art that I've either done or had gotten commissioned of. But beyond that, I usually keep them really close to my heart. And that's kind of why I'm so fragile with commissions and stuff. And I feel really bad about it because I know a lot of good artists that I'd love to commission, but I just am too paranoid. I think I just have really bad paranoia. I usually do art for anyone, so if you came to commission me, as long as you're respectful and keep it business only, I usually don't try to make friends on my Zombie Marshmallow account, mostly to keep that boundary between my personal life and work, because I do see Zombie Marshmallow as work. But I also do not stop people from buying from me. There's some few things that I will say no to. Anything problematic or just harmful in general, I literally do not do. But most of the time, if people are kind, even people who have me on their blacklist just commission me at some point. And I usually don't try to go out of my way to say anything. It's mostly just business. As long as people keep it business, I usually do art with almost everybody. But if you come into my DMs with something more personal, and I might not interact with you, or I may block you, because I usually like to treat Zombie Marshmallow as like kind of work, and I try to keep it very professional, and I try to make it to where everybody is able to commission me. I'm not necessarily a judge. I'm an artist, and I like to think that everybody has a reason to why they act a certain way, and I don't really like getting involved in drama themed stuff. I'm not a judge. I don't know any situations, and nor do I want to really put my nose deep into other people's situations as well, because I just feel like I am way too easily stressed out, as well as I just want to do art for people if they're respectful and if they just, follow my rules and are only there for business. I'm cool with that. I usually, like anyone I do art for, does not mean that I'm friends with them as well. It just means that they commissioned me and I did a job for them. It's like if I were to go into somebody's house and fix their pipes, it doesn't mean I'm trying to give them clean water because they're a good person deserving of clean water. It just means I'm doing a job. As well as my art is kind of a job. I don't see it as something that means much other than money. That doesn't mean I'm here to draw a bunch of problematic shit. I have my limits. I will do work with people, and I will draw things that I feel are appropriate and aren't inherently problematic. With whatever information they give me at the time, I will look into the characters, but anything further than that, I usually don't try to get involved because I'm doing a job. It's not my art at that point. I'm drawing for somebody else. They own the piece of art, so if I draw for this person, that's their art now. Doesn't mean I support them. It means that they supported me and they were able to help me feed my cats. I've lost a friend because of this, and I don't mind people who don't agree with this. I think it's understandable, but I do want people to try to see it from my point of view. I don't really have room to tell somebody no. I have cats to feed. I have myself to feed. I have my wife to go to the doctor, take her to the doctor with. I am very tight when it comes down to money, and I don't really have the funds to really say no to most people. Based off of like social stuff, if they've been a bit of an asshole, as long as they're able to keep it business, I usually do business with them. And yeah, that might be disheartening, but maybe in the future when I'm actually in a more stable financial place, I might try to stay away from people who are actively harmful to communities. By harmful, I mean just bullies, really. I'm not trying to do work with people who are like actual convicted, bad baddies. bad people. Mostly people who are just socially kind of awful to others. Those are the kind of people I'm talking about. I don't mean to sound so vague on it. It really depends on who I'm working with. I've never really turned somebody away, mostly because, again, I usually don't look into people. I do that purposefully for my own mental health. I feel like everybody has their flaws and a lot of social things I don't really understand. I've had my feelings hurt by people and they've commissioned me. I also have friends who have gotten hurt by people who have also commissioned me. And most of it's social stuff that honestly I'm not going to say is invalid. I think that their feelings are valid and I support my friends, but if one of these bad people try to give me money, it's hard to say no because I do have bills in the end, and they're not going to pay themselves, and I don't expect everybody that commissions me to be the best person on earth either, because that's just unrealistic. Again, as long as people keep it professional and respect my boundaries on when I'm willing to draw, when I'm not willing to draw, I usually do business with them. And again, it doesn't mean I necessarily support them. There's a lot of people I don't support at all who have commissioned me, and I absolutely did not mind working with them. I didn't treat them any differently from anybody else who commissioned me. I feel like the art community has this bad habit of putting people into the bad people and good people to do work with, and trying to place value on the people who do work with them, and kind of like try to hold those people responsible for what the bad people might have done. And I'm not responsible for any of the actions of somebody who commissions me. Honestly, I don't have the time to look into everybody who does commission me as well. I think it's kind of ridiculous to think that I should, because I'm an artist. I'm doing a job below minimum wage sometimes, and honestly, it's just like, I would hope people don't see me differently because I'm doing work and I'm trying to make ends meet. I mean, that's how I see it. I would hope that I have great friends. I've lost a friend because of this, but honestly, I don't blame them. If they feel uncomfortable, that's completely that's completely valid. That's valid to them, as well as it's kind of valid for me to, need to make money and pay bills. Again, this is kind of just a job for me, and I don't usually try to look into people because it stresses me the fuck out. There's a lot of people that I've worked with that have personally hurt me in all kinds of ways, but I still worked with them because it was either that or not being able to pay for cat food. And I have cats. I have 3 cats. And it might sound like awful, morally gray, but honestly, I don't lose sleep over it. I know that the people that I work with do not reflect my own values. I mean, I have family who are pretty awful. That doesn't mean I'm awful. And that's kind of how I see it. It's just like, I don't agree with these people, but I'm trying to do a business here. It's like going into a yogurt shop. I'm going to serve people because that's kind of the job. And it's also to just make ends meet. And I mean, in this economy, it's hard to make ends meet. And I mean, it's hard for everybody. I don't expect for me to get any special treatment. And if this makes anyone uncomfortable, I understand. It's valid to feel that way. I personally am doing it for this, this is my perspective on it. I don't mind hearing other people's perspectives. It also, again, it really depends on the situation as well. Most of the time, it's just people who have been really mean, kind of bullies in the past, who I've done work with, and honestly, it sucks. But again, I have to make ends meet. That's really hard to explain, and I do value most people's feelings on this, but I feel like it's kind of hard to always be in the same direction as everybody else, because again, I don't like getting involved in drama. I like kind of keeping my page drama free, as much as my YouTube channel has kind of seemed a bit more personal, story basis, which I don't know whether or not people can consider that drama, but still, I try to make my main account drama free. I don't try to repost anything that is negative, like call out pages or bewares, mostly because I don't want to be that that account. I don't want to be an account that just shares kind of negative shit that's happening in the community. People are going through their whole lives with negative shit happening to them right now, like real life stuff. And I do think it's a part of life. Bad people are going to be here, and I want to just kind of be a safe place for most people, where you can just come to my page and know that there's not going to be some crazy drama of this crazy bad person that's in the community that also may have hurt somebody, or maybe it's just like a black and white situation. Some situations isn't always how it seems on the outside. You got to look at some things a little deeper. I feel like a lot of proof is very necessary, as well as the call out culture in our society right now is not necessarily good. It kind of bullies people off the internet. And I just want to stay as far away from that stuff because, again, I'm not a judge. I don't want to judge people's character based off of screenshots of situations that happen between two people privately. It just makes me feel a little weird. It feels a little bit like I'm invading their privacy. And again, if you do believe in call outs and bewares, I mean, go you. I'm personally just kind of staying away from it because I just feel weird about them. As well as personally just stressed from them. They stress me out a little bit. I feel like they stress everybody out a little bit. And it's hard to really see everything as black and white for me. I have a lot of sympathy for everybody. And it kind of sucks. It's kind of a good, bad thing. I don't know. But I try to treat everybody the same unless they treat me differently. I always try to give somebody a chance to interact with me how they are as a person. I try to give everybody that chance because, it's really easy to fall into hearing about somebody and them talking shit about somebody else. It's really easy to just listen to that stuff and not really question it because it's easier to listen to it and block the person, but I try to give everybody kind of a chance to interact with me and treat me how they are as a person. I usually try to feel it around myself, mostly because I feel like I can trust what happens more. I don't trust most people on the internet. I feel like a lot of people have a lot to gain for lying on the internet, and honestly, I like to try to figure things out for myself, and most of the time, you know, sometimes people are good people, sometimes people aren't. And I don't try to interact further than business, though. That's usually what it is. If they can treat me professionally, business-wise, I usually am okay with working with them. And if they're going to be kind of rude in my DMs, I usually block them. I don't want that kind of stuff on my page, as well as I usually just like making my page about art. It's about art, you know? It's about art, it's about drawing, and it's about creating. And I'm also growing as an artist too. A lot of my opinions may change in the future. I do want to be open-minded. That's one of the things I really want to be. I always want to just be open-minded to people and try to make sure that I'm taking everybody into account, or just like, you know, trying to be where I feel is right, you know? And I know that's kind of like hard for most people to see, because it is easier to just go with the flow of things. And I feel like I've been rambling at this point. But yeah, that's kind of my whole design thing. I went on a bit of rant there, a bit of a ramble, but anyhow, I think I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. This video is a little bit more low-key. I just wanted to get a video out because I saw my last video was doing really good, and I was like, oh my god, I need to do something else. And I do plan on doing some more detailed work rather than just yapping all the time. I want to do a Roblox thing. I want to do a Roblox drawing, and I want to record it, and I want to just kind of make a video on that, because I love drawing in Roblox. Drawing in Roblox is so fun, and I'd like to share that, as well as just a number of things. I want to show my collections off. I'm a big collector. I like dolls, and I want to show that off. But yeah, I'm gonna cut it off here. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please be respectful in the comments and be kind to each other. I really do enjoy talking on YouTube, and I really want to just kind of open the doors a little bit and have a community that is kind and understanding. That's kind of what I really want, and I just hope that that comes through in these videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again later. Subscribe, like, comment, please. And yeah, zombie out.